Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hinse Brothers Mechanical YouTube channel. I'm Trevor and this is Adrian Hinse. He is one of the owners and the brothers in Hinse Brothers Mechanicals. Today we're going to be talking about how hydronic floor heating works. We always like to start off our videos with a quote, and this one is from Walt Disney. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I like that one. We use that motto around here a lot. Let's stop talking, let's start doing it. Let's get her done. Here's a neat statistic for you guys, or fact rather. Upgrading a home's heating and cooling equipment can reduce energy use by up to 20% or more. Depending on the condition of the existing systems, similar savings might be realized by improving the distribution efficiency of the heating and cooling systems. And you're the expert in this room about all of those things, heating and cooling. So tell us a little bit about hydronic heating, what you know about it, and a little bit about our discussion today.
Well, with radiant heating, it's actually extremely popular around the globe. North America, we tend to use a lot of forced air heating, but radiant heating is actually hugely popular throughout the world because of the efficiency it runs. Probably about 30% more efficient because we're heating the structure of the home rather than just the air. Air doesn't have a very good ability to store energy.
Right.
Or transfer heat. So you might be able to heat it up quickly, but it also cools off quickly.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about hydronic heating today. Number one, how to install radiant floor heating into a pre-existing home.
So the best time to contact us would be at the beginning, the design stages of the home. We can also come up with a design after you've already framed it and that. But what we want to do is actually look at the different zones and what you're doing in each area. Because with hydronic heating or in-floor hydronic heating, what we can do is give you different zoning throughout the home. So if you want your bedrooms to be a little bit cooler at night, or different temperature in the living room and this type of thing, we can add zones and a thermostat to control those zones separately. But it would be great to put it into the design. If you're looking at doing in-floor and upper levels in the home and that, there's different ways of doing that as well.
Right, so doing it after the fact is not the best scenario, but it's probably still possible to do, just maybe in a different format. So now, what should somebody be looking for in a hydronic radiant floor heating system?
Well, basically, you want to have that, like we talked about, the correct design for the system. And it's also the proper heating system. You know, you want equipment that's reliable, works properly, all the piping is done efficiently. And the other thing is you also want a product that is readily available in that, you know, chances are down the road, if there is something that needs to be replaced, parts are readily available for you.
Right, so you don't want to get some one-off brand type of thing that you're never going to get replacement parts for.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, that's a good tip for anybody who is, you know, looking to save money now because they're getting something that's off market. Just go with the ones that are most popular and most prevalent, because the likelihood of you needing a repair in the future is high, as with anything, right? So get something that's more brand name-ish, and you guys can provide a recommendation for that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, third question. How would someone get radiant floor heating to the upper levels in a house?
So oftentimes people want to put some in-floor heating in their bathrooms or in certain areas of the house, you know, all the tiled areas and that. If the house is designed with in-floor heating in mind, you know, we could do a suspended slab on top of the flooring. So that gives you good quieting, dampened sound and stuff like that. But it does add a lot of weight, so you need to have a proper structure to support that extra weight. Other ways we can do it, we can actually use staple up transfer plates, and that would be right to the plywood below your flooring.
Okay.
Right, so that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
So there's a few different options that you can do. You just got to be prepared for the disruption and the cost of adding that in, right? Okay. One more question is radiant flooring a really good and efficient heat source?
Absolutely, radiant in-floor heating. The reason why it's so efficient is that it's heating up all the objects in the home. So your flooring is being warmed up, It's then transferring to the air. With forced air heating, you lose a lot of the heat through the ductwork.
Okay.
And it also, hot air rises, so it ends up at the ceiling, right? So with in-floor, you're heating up right at the base, and it radiates into the air, and it warms up your furniture and stores that energy. So with air, it doesn't store the energy well, loses it quickly. With building materials, furniture, it stores that energy, and you can continue to feel that warmth. So that lowers the load of heat required, and you just get that warm feeling, you know?
Yeah, it feels better. It's almost like it penetrates better, almost, you know? Feels like you've got... like,
similar to like sitting in a hot tub, you know? You get that surrounded heat.
Yeah, rather than just, you know, hot spots and cool spots and so forth. You know, being from Canada, it gets really cold here, so there's a lot of hot spots and cold spots depending on where you are in your house. So having the entire structure being warmed up, I think would be awesome. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. One more question I've got for you on this: does radiant in-floor heating provide even heat distribution throughout the home? I guess we kind of talked about that, but yeah, let us know a little bit about the even distribution.
Yeah, because we've got in-floor loops running throughout the entire floor. It's got an even distribution of heat throughout the floor, and it slowly radiates into the air, right? So it's not blasting air and circulating it through the house. It slowly warms it, and it comes up the walls, and you can kind of see it just closes in evenly all the way around you. With forced air, you don't get that same effect. You've got some cold spots and warm spots in the home, right?
Yeah.
You can be helped with running the fan longer in that, but it's hard to compete with the radiant heating.
Yeah. Now, does radiant floor heating provide a higher level of comfort than traditional forced air?
Absolutely. Like we talked about, the feeling of sitting in a hot tub and you're just warmed right up to your neck, right? Add your face to that, and you've got the radiant heating in your home, right? You can walk on the floor with your bare feet and you feel that heat, and it just warms your core right up.
Yeah, it feels much better. Now, this isn't one of the questions we had from before, but when it comes to the forced air, is it more cost effective? Like, does it cost less to run heat with radiant in-floor heating as opposed to, forced air? Absolutely,
it does cost less to operate it. Because everything's storing that energy, it recirculates back to the boiler. The boiler takes a measurement of the temperature, and it only warms it up enough to get it back to that set temperature that's required to heat. With in-floor heating, you're looking at about 120 degrees Fahrenheit compared to higher temperatures on a furnace, right? So it takes less heat, but it also stores that heat, and it doesn't get wasted as it would with air.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And it's probably more expensive on the installation, I'm gonna guess. Maybe you can tell us on that. But over time, I think you'd make up for that in savings and just comfort level for the winter time.
Yeah, that's right. So there are some higher upfront costs with installing a boiler system. There are different options we can give you to mitigate that somewhat. But with the higher level of comfort and the efficiency in operation, you'll see payback on your investment.
That's awesome. I think people should look into that, and it should be in every home, at least your home. If you're building a home or if you're looking at renovating, it's a good time to contact Adrian at Hinse Brothers Mechanical or hincemechanical.com. Now, what are the different types of radiant heating?
So there's different styles. Probably the most popular, especially here, is the in-floor heating, right? You get that nice even distribution throughout the house. If you've got an existing home, you want to add it, what we can do is we can put in radiant floorboard heaters. So that's another way we can go. Those are also very popular. You still get that radiant effect, right? It's still heating up the objects. You get higher level of efficiency, but you do have the fin cabinets located in the rooms, right?
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see those.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, you go to any of the older buildings or older homes, and even in our area, and you can still see radiators. I think in New York City, they still use a lot of radiant heat. They have steam lines running underneath that whole city in order to try and, transmit steam and get those, heat up into different places. So I know that having that here, it would be majorly beneficial for anybody to get some radiant in-floor heating. If you're not happy with the forced air or you're doing a renovation, it just makes you feel warmer. Like going to a seniors facility here in town. They use that almost exclusively, not really the forced air systems. And it's really warm in there, usually most of the time.
It is really warm, and sometimes I've been in cases too where you might have to use a combination, like a heat pump, ductless mini split in combination with that boiler system. So if your neighbors like it a little extra warm, you have a way to combat that a little bit. But the other radiant heat that we install too would be for like your shops or garages. They're forced air type, so they're heating air and they're blowing it through a radiant tube, and that radiates onto the floor, and it does heat all the objects, your concrete floor, your tools, all these types of things. Gives you that warm feeling. Not quite as efficient as high efficiency systems in your home and that, but they are more efficient than the traditional forced air garage heaters and shop heaters.
Oh, good to know. Now, next question. What type of flooring works best with the radiant floors?
So with flooring, your stone and tile works the best. So it transfers heat very well, and it also stores that energy quite well as also. Other floors that you can use are vinyl, laminate, that type of thing is good. But solid wood floor does require a level of humidity, and by having the heat directly underneath it, you end up drying out the wood. So you need to really keep that in mind. If you are using in-floor with hardwood floor, you do need to maintain that level of humidity so you're not damaging the flooring.
Right, yeah. So that's what, and also with our climate to where we are in Alberta, it's very dry as it is, especially in the wintertime. So that would just dry it out even further. So yeah, but you guys can probably help with humidification, I'm sure.
Absolutely, we got you covered.
Now, can radiant floor heating be used to provide better heat to control other rooms?
Absolutely. So like I was talking about before, we can zone your system. So with radiant in-floor heating, you have different loops. And on those loops, we have a zone control, which allows the flow to go through when there's a call for heat. So we'd have a thermostat in different rooms. And when there's a call for heat in that room, it's going to activate that zone valve, which will allow flow through that room only, right? So you can set say you want your basement to be at a certain temperature, you want your bedrooms upstairs a certain temperature, a little warmer in the bathroom for your feet when you get out of the shower. You can modify all these temperatures and basically give you optimal comfort for the different areas in your room.
Nice. You can fine tune it so you're not.
That's right.
So you don't have those hot and cool spots all over the house, right? Like you typically have with forced air. Sometimes the duct might be blocked, or the distance is so long within the ducting that it's, not really providing what you're looking for. So I think you got some real solutions there with the radiant heating, the hydronic heating systems for people's homes. So how do people get in touch with you guys?
So if you give us a call, 780-999-6900, we can set up an appointment. I can come over, have a look. You can send me your plans. I'll do a heat loss calculation, come up with a design for you, and give you some options that'll benefit you. Right. You can also look us up online, hinsmechanical.com. Set up an appointment that way. Send us an email, book an appointment, and we'll do a free assessment for you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Adrian. So if that's you, if you're one who's looking for some hydronic heating, want to look at a different option, and you've got the budget for it, definitely give them a call, and he'd be glad to give you an assessment and a free quote. That's all for me, and we'll see you guys next time on the Hinse Mechanical YouTube channel.
Thanks very much. Have a great day.